Falcons down towards question mark as well. Seems like they should be safe though as the first circle pops and oh my god, that's Western. They're set in first place. I think Adrian would really want to get out of here and get out of here alive. Yes, there might be points for you to grab, but you have such a good circle in your favor. Taking the fight here, potentially taking casualties and losing the game because of it could be them missing that first place. But Adrian, nothing he can really do right now to get out of it is trying to stick around, trying to at least take some players down with him as he makes his way out on the balcony.
I like this. Just move full on defense. Everybody on Gingy is going to be cresting up that hillside. If H1 gets a read that this is not going to go his way, he can try to jump out, get away from this one, but he's going to brave back in. EJ's going to be pushing right up, right into the wall. Just lands, and H1 says, hell no! This is my compound, this is my circle, we're in first place, we're staying there.
Bazooka in hand, H1 says...
Play right up against that red wall itself. You can see that they're going to play with their backs against the zone wall, so that way they don't have to worry about anybody creeping in back behind them. So smart play, navigating a pretty weird circle, all considered, as it is going to be, looks like T5 making an approach over here as well.
They see them in the air. Two players already down there, and 5 trying to fly straight down to the 2-2 split. They've read the split. It's not the worst idea. Issue is Strimsy is here. He's found the one, already found the double make that, but he is going to go down. So Sonics off to a great start with the 5 kills, but Strimsy has fallen.
Still trying to see if they can get some more out of that. Every single kill that they're picking up, though, they know is so vital. Expendables on the opposite end of that is like, please, sir, can I have some of this? I need just any point that I can conceivably have. And Panzerfaust on the opposing side. We just saw the power of it. It's going to be 2 members walking back to back, and this is a nice modification. Usually when you try to push a compound like this, you want to run 2 together, but TE also joining the firefight.
Yep, joining in from the other side is Hatsuat. Now peeks on out, instantly takes down Tiggleton. Nothing you can do against the bazooka up close. Down to 1 HP goes Hatsuat, but able to sit around the side. So kills have come through for Sonics, but again taking casualties. Hatsuat will fall as Expendables are now here finding kills of their own.
Sonics just one out at this stage. 2 explosive, 2 powerful. Don't forget about Tai Lu, who backfilled into the position just 1 moment ago. That was going to be where Sonics were held out. Since they made the play to try to defend this, they've kind of lost their territory control that they had such a death grip on a moment ago.
Exactly. Very, very smart read by Tai Lu to come in from the southern side, understand what's going on, and instead of trying to full-on third party the fight, go, wait, they just gave us a free center compound. Oh, hell yeah, we'll take that. Smart play on their part, and now for Mime and for H-Win, it's not looking too good. The good thing for them is they already have 7 points this game, so it's not going to be a terrible one. But of course, knowing that Perfectix from Twisted Minds has had some of his best games on this map in particular, it's not something you want to allow to have happen.
FaZe reading that kill feed, realizing the fact that this is probably going to be an easy pickup for them. Mime going down, H-Win just going to have to play, see if maybe he can get the vehicle over here. Is going to be able to block that sight line, but as we see, it's going to be FaZe pretty split across this, and that's one of the reasons that we saw the problem. Mime did manage to at least get away from 1 firing line, but look where Fex is going to be at, and this vehicle just, it's not in a good condition. Any more shots into it just going to spell the death of Sonics.
James is going to run on forward. We've seen him get a little, I won't say greedy, but eager at times before, where it's cost FaZe dearly. So now the rest will come through, and there's no proper windows to get a good nade in here. Maybe a blue zone nade will blow up. Yep, you're already seeing it in the right-hand corner there. Blue zone nade lopped on forward. Even if the rest comes through, there should be no way for Mime to be able to get a first aid off in time. As I say that, nope, he will fall down to it. And now James single-handedly up against H-Win.
Charging in, Gustav on one side, but H-Win not done. He is vibing right now. He wants to try to make sure that he secures up for his team. Nade's gonna go out, but FaZe still has the numbers. Pick up 1 more kill before you go, right? Shot's now gonna come in opposing side on this one, as, man, it is everybody in the lobby after Sonics right now. They smell the blood in the water, and the sharks are circling.
And again, FaZe going back to mistakes of the past and how they have...
What you guys are kind of missing is we do have Danawa that's just up to the northeast. It's going to be Forest that's just a bit past that. Circle going to go in all tactically fed over, coming from Batulans, realizing that this is going to be a bad rotation for us, so we need to pick up some kill points. We need to kind of balance out what's been going on with Sonics.
Xiaobei is creating the angle for his teammates, and now the peek on over. There's actually Xiaobei now up here on the hills. A little ghost is the one to try and bait the attention. They knew that they had them close. He had heard the footsteps. Now the peek comes through. Few shots missed though, but Batulans from the northern side finds Little Ghost in return.
Slowing back down the pacing on this one, just playing the hillside itself, trying to find time for Batulans and Lou to both come into this one. Nate is going to hit, make those ears ring, but the reinforcements are now coming. Batulans actually going to stop out directly in front of Zhao Wu to stop him from being able to reinforce this, try and make sure that he can't make any plays into it, but it's going to be Gustav! Never count out FaZe. They hear a firefight and they want some kill points.
Yeah, FaZe driving in from one side, Dano doing the same thing from the other, as Batulans now is taken down by Zhao Wu. Spiro has seen him at a distance, and he is is going to get hurt, but phase 3 damage, of course, not too bad. Xiaowu tries to get one with the arm, not going to connect.
And we have more that's going to be brewing in this as Danawa here is the Salute and Soul, both moving up the hillside, realizing that there are kill points to be had for themselves, and they want to make sure that they can try to climb just a bit behind Question Mark itself. With this, the hillside, the safety that was being provided a second ago is being more and more complex as it is going to be a crunch. 17 Gaming trying to bypass through this, and looks like the blue zone going to stop out, try to support their squad, but this is still just phase 3, so it's not the end of the world, but I will say it is pretty bad when we see FaZe and Danawa now firmly gatekeeping.
Sat in on the other side, just waiting for what's going to be remaining of this fight to come their way. The only issue could be that the fight between them might happen before they would even wanted it to. Xiao Bei peeks on over, finds one, might get the second one as well. They've heard the footsteps from Spiro, attacks in the foot as well, as he's trying to make his way to safety. Flash, lobbed on over, is going to force them to get into new positions.
Just down so close right now, sneaking into this one, the last one up. Dreams for his squad. They know that Sonic's put up a big amount of numbers. They need to get something out of this, but so heavily outnumbered. Smoke's going to be pluming around him out in the blue zone. Fortunately, finds an angle onto one of them, but just clinging to life right now. He's revealed himself out. Suju playing the Smoke's gonna spot it, and there we go. Spyro's going to go down to the zone itself. And that
in the game, Na'Vi, do you rep on the northern side or play down south? The thing is, with Question Mark and Tyloo in full control of the compounds, with access to second floors in the buildings too, you'd imagine they would have great position and great angle to spot you in those fields out below.
The only big benefit that we're going to be looking at is the hillside that's going to be into the east. Whenever we have Tyloo's positioning and Question Mark's positioning, it's not going to have power to really influence what's going to be going on in the rice paddies. This is going to move into a much more vertical firefight, even though it has, yes, those hills in play, just because those are too risky of hills to be played at this time. As you can see, Forrest trying to make their way a bit more down this hillside, get into that position where we see, if you mind, Game PT kind of playing from.
Yeah. Forrest, I think, trying to set up. Initially, I think they were setting up to try and keep out Game PT, but now realizing that there's only really one way for Expendables to go. They have to prioritize a potential fight up north. In the meantime, now Na'Vi, realizing there's only so many places they could go. They have to go to the compound sooner or later. And here they come. Pre-nades locked on out as the first one falls instantly. Alia falls down as well, and now it's just Uber left alive. But again, a great example of Question Mark being ready for where to expect the threats from. 2 players down from Na'Vi on approach.
Look at this. Vehicles even firmly protected, information being fed over. Dante looks like it's going to be his job to go for the res into this one. Best of luck, just going to be holding the angle. A doozy. I mean, just firm, solid defense here. There was just, if you want to see how to defend that compound, that was it. Because even Na'Vi tried to use the lack of windows, that hillside, to come in over here and Question Mark red. This is going to be how we're approached, and we know where we're vulnerable.
Exactly. We're trying to use as much utility as we possibly can. A doozy getting in over it. Dante will be the one to get the kill in the end, but the pressure was applied as Na'Vi fall in 10th. In the meantime, a second push does come through as 4 AM are forced to take the fight towards the northeast. Game PT taking a casualty already, but Babsang Heck is back on his feet.
If you mind, gonna have some problems is if they retreat to the north, it's gonna be where Forrest is at. The only benefit of that is it is gonna be Tanvu from the Expendables taking some shots into what's gonna be going on with Forrest right now, so they can't really do too much inside of this firefight. 4 Angry Men realizing this is a no man's land. Let's see if we can try to get some kills, maybe just try to get a bit of control over this compound and walk it in, because you can see there are a couple of like these little shacks that are gonna be in front of them that they can kind of play from, and they are going to try to leapfrog to get into that position. So if you mind, Game PT starting to lose more and more control over this.
Dodging and weaving, trying to get ahead of their opponents as Daku does go down. Forrest is still yet to get a proper impact in this fight, but they are eyeing up this fight from up north. 4 AM trying to use this position to the best of their ability, but they're so limited in what they can do. Look at the angle for Master here. Spots them all, but only damage done, no knocks confirmed.
Just any form of harassment, though, just makes it so much harder for If You Mind. There's nowhere for them to go. They can't be playing into the north now. Now they've got to shift back into the south. In that entrenched area that we see for Angry Men, the crossfire that they have set up, this was their home, and it has just been taken from them.
Yep, not a whole lot they can do, if anything, at this point. Circle shifts towards the west once more as well. So what was a gatekeep from them is now going to be a gatekeep from Cerberus, the next one in line alongside Falcons. For 4 AM, for Forrest, how do you maneuver into this next circle?
Oh my lord, we're going to keep so much of that Tyloo compound, that Question Mark compound in play, even Cerberus's compound. Forrest, 4 Angry Men, the Expendables. This is going to be you knock with your guns and you try to find a way into these compounds.
And it's all the teams on the hunt that are set in the positions to really rack up points here. So curious to see who's going to come up victorious, curious to see who's going to make the most of what has just been a very favorable shift for these teams that are set in safety.
And the way that the shifts have come, most of the teams are actually on the opposing side of the circle for Question Mark. which is bad for them. They want these kills. This is their opportunity game to try to catch up some. And yes, they do have some vision on what's going on that hillside, but there's enemies that are way closer to try to pick up those kills, even if they get those knocks. So yes, it's great that they've got this position, but at the same time, it's kind of a double-edged sword because they can't get the points that they really, really want out of it.
I mean, placement points are still points. We'll see how many they can rack up, because you'd have to imagine that a few teams are going to go down before they get inside. What is this next circle? Sololsi gets knocked down. Munto Olympus instantly to fall right after. Tanvu making the MK12 really, really work in his favor.
Just Scappy trying to move forward. He's going to get spotted. Master not too far away from him. You can see him having to dodge the vehicle as it rolls up next to him. But the Expendables, I don't think are going to let him make this too much comfy position for him to be able to play from. Trying to balance out that one. I do like the modification, realizing, hey, there might be somebody closer. I've been cooking this for a second. Let's bounce it off the tree itself. Expendables were playing a bit further back, and uh-oh.
I hear it.
Mortars coming in.
When it wasn't chaotic enough already, let's add some mortars to it. And who's better off at using the team sat comfortably in the compounds to the east? Expendables, if they can get rid of Forest here, they're going to have plenty of space to maneuver on that eastern side still. But Dog Juices don't want it there. Peeking on over. Sanvu, though, doesn't have to. The utility does it for him, and now they get to claim the spot.
And here comes 4 angry men. They're pushing into the Cerberus compound. They're trying to make the best of a bad situation. But Falcons realize this. They're hopping inside the vehicles, and they're pinching this moment. They realize that this is going to be a firefight to get control of what's going to be going on in here over to the east. And while that's happening, the Expendables spotted that rotation, and now it is just everybody down here into the southeast.
It still is a 0-kill game for Cerberus. They want to get more with it as one falls big. There are 2 players down. Him as the only one left alive. But again, if there's been any time that a player's needed to step up on the side of Cerberus, Himas has usually been the one to do just that. But he is alone against the entirety of 4 AM, and he will fall too.
4 AM just taking another one. They are just real estate moguls right now, just taking every bit of everything from anybody. They see something, it becomes mine. And now Falcons trying to get their reset just up on top. As you can see, DraftKings, it's going to be Sills, and it's going to try to defend up. But let's not forget, we did have question mark that was starting to give a couple eyes into this. Emmy for Falcons is playing very far to the west, who has a defendable angle to make sure that his teammates that are playing on this western side have some safety.
Circle once again shifting up towards question mark and Tyloo, the final bosses of this match for all these teams that have been brawling their way in from the southeast and taking casualties with every single fight they've had to go through. It looks to be a good one for question mark for Tyloo, regardless of how this one pans out.
Oh, Ghost in the window and just waiting for that one. Just not going to let it happen. He's going to get popped, though. Capitan finding some ways to get his team into this one. Crazy's going to be on the outside, and yet again, Capitan making some plays.
Solid shots coming through. Crucial they get to stay put. They have Imix and off angle. They're only 2 up close, but nice angle for H's. Issue is the flash is perfectly timed. And now, with the vehicle in front, Silson needs to make a play. He needs to deal with H's inside. Flash locked on in, pushes on forward, and that, my friends, is Falcons up to 9.
Look at this. So many kills that they are racking up right now. The problem is they've got to make a move into the circle. Expendables do as well. They're just going to go ahead and go for a sin right along this line, but it's right after the Falcons fight ends. Emmy from that range position going to spot that one out, and God, man, look, question mark just waiting for somebody to move into this.
Yeah.
They want it so bad.
They've been set up here the entire game, just saying, oh, anyone's getting near us, great. We've not had to use any utility yet, so now is the time. On approach, taken down instantly.
Tyloo just needing a couple of points to see if maybe they can catch up to 17. Anything will get them above Cerberus right now, but Falcons going to be nipping at their heels, wanting to get some more. Problem with it, though, is it's going to be Falcons having to move into this very open sightline for question mark.
I kind of like how the entire southeast is on fire right now, because it was the northwest before, but because the fights between all those teams up there kind of got all of them killed together. Twisted Mind, 17, Danawa, Face Clan as well. They all just mutually destroyed one another. Now the teams in the compounds towards that northwest side, who should have been fighting those teams later, are going, well, we didn't have to fight them, so come to us, guys. We're ready for it.
Question mark, this could be your game. You've got Falcons in your sight lines. They're trying to navigate through, but Falcons, I don't know what's going on with them. Oh, Capitan catches some airtime, and he is going to go down at probably one of the worst possible moments. Best of luck, though. Going to take down Longs, make it not quite so bad, but that blue zone nade, that's going to be about all she wrote.
Yeah, one guaranteed at least. Silson's going to try and prone this one out and try and see if maybe he can get himself a top 2 spot in this game with 4 alive on each side. You'd imagine that the win is out of reach. 13% is what the game gives him.
Oh my God.
He really needs everything to work in his favor in order to come out victorious
with
here.
This new circle pop, this means that the road is the center point in position.
Again.
There are a couple of, like, you can see pieces of cover that can be played here, but this is going to be the firefight for angles. And with this Tyloo, see these walls that they can play? This is going to be massive for them in this in-game firefight, is they're going to be able to navigate a lot more angles than we're going to see Question Mark. And Question Mark still has to deal with Sills, and it's going to be hiding behind them.
Exactly, not going to be easy whatsoever for at least for Silton to try and make his way on through. But as you're saying, how much of an impact does he end up having? I think if you're Tyloo right now, yes, you want the points, but you might as well just allow for Silton to stay put for a little while longer. Let Question Mark deal with that issue, or be forced to deal with that issue, while you, as you can see here, try and do as much damage as you can to them. Use him as your 5th team member effectively.
Just being patient with it. They've got this flat top that they're playing from. They've got, again, those walls down in front of them. Tyloo having a lot of advantages in this, as Question Mark's going to go, okay, we're going to have to make sure that we make a lot out of utility. Luckily, they have had some utility that has been delivered to them, so they can kind of use that in these different stages. But they had to also use a lot of those throwables that they were wanting to use for this firefight on a road against Falcons and some of these other pushes that have come their way.
You see a Doozy, 5 smokes to work with, but no nades, no mollies. Might have a blue zone nade or 2, but that's going to be all she wrote. In the meantime now, who's going to be able to claim it as we look down towards the mortar? I'd be surprised if at this point in the game we're going to see the mortar playing, but who knows? Who knows? The compound just on the other side of the road.
It is a road. If you'd have to move it, I think, a bit further back than its present positioning to even be able to get it to land where you want it to, but looking out, Question Mark, all the variables are against them right now, right? They have to deal with the thorn in their side. They've got kind of a lack of cover. They do have some fences that can be played, yes, but they don't give as many angles as we can see on the Tyloo side to work with, and that's one of the things. Add in the flat top as well. Silzen, this is one thing.
Did they forget about me? No.
His LAN experience means the fact that he is coming into this one. He knows how to play this. He knows exactly what his job is.
Yes.
All he's going to be after is 1 KP. If he can get 1 KP or at least get 2nd place, that's his victory.
Trying to stay put for as long as possible as a Doozy now with a bike moving out into the open. A little bit of damage being done early on, but he got over to his car trying to swap vehicles, but a headshot comes through. He's down to 2 HP. That would have been a crucial knock for Tyloo, but the Doozy gets to live with the scare.
Uh-oh, and with this, Silzen's moving more to the road. It looks like he might be looking into that Tyloo line more than what he's going to be looking at Question Mark. Any head that presents itself is going to be what he's going for, but it's going to be Shin on everybody to go down at that point. Question Mark getting a much needed advantage finally.
Silzen saying, I've done what I can, boys. Now it's on you to take out Tyloo. We'll see if it can happen with Dante and Phil first up on the roof. It seems to me like Xiao Yang and the remaining players of Tyloo knows exactly where they happen. Phil first to fall, as more nades are bound to come through.
That was a beautifully cooked nade. If they keep on going with this, it is going to be so hard for Dante to kind of navigate any of it. But notice a Doozy. He's already down on his belly. He's moving in. Tyloo just aggressing right on top of this one. They're not going to even let them get to the road. But notice, they have no cover. Stepping out of Doozy gets sprayed to 1, but he's going to go down.
Needed more in order to get this one home, I'm afraid, as Dante peeks on over, finds one. Best of luck now, finds one as well. The AWP angles keep coming through, and just like that, Question Mark out victorious. Tyloo thought that a Doozy was the up-close threat, but in reality, he was just the bait. He was the attention grab for Dante and for Best of luck to peek from each their respective angles and claim the win.
That they needed, and they